Welcome to AI Dispatch, your channel for the latest AI videos on YouTube. If you don't want to miss these updates, please like, subscribe, and share. Peter H. Diamandis and his Moonshots panel present a framework that reverses standard assumptions about AGI measurement, AI safety methodology, and infrastructure scaling. Their central argument: AGI has shifted from a scientific milestone to a financial trigger. Safety emerges through competitive pressure rather than restraint, and the regulatory window for centralized AI control has already closed. The analysis spans from immediate workforce restructuring to cosmic scale engineering constraints. The panel begins by dissecting how the definition of artificial general intelligence has been fundamentally restructured. For decades, AGI served as a scientific benchmark measuring reasoning capability or cognitive performance. The panel identifies a quiet transformation. AGI now functions as a contractual financial trigger. They reference Amazon's contingent $35 billion investment offer to OpenAI. The investment activates only upon OpenAI achieving AGI. The critical detail: AGI in these contracts is defined not by consciousness or Turing test performance, but by reaching $100 billion in earnings or revenue. Compute is now measured in gigawatts. AGI is measured in dollars. Superintelligence has transitioned from a technological event horizon to a balance sheet condition. This produces what the panel terms the circular economy of AI. Amazon invests billions in Anthropic. Anthropic purchases cloud credits from Amazon. Capital never exits the system. The panel argues this represents more than accounting structure. It constitutes the entrepreneurial opportunity of a lifetime where the economy financializes intelligence itself, rendering the circular flow of capital indistinguishable from real economic activity. Shifting from finance to safety architecture, the discussion presents a framework that inverts traditional AI alignment strategy. The conventional safetyist position advocates pausing development until safety guarantees exist. The panel highlights that Anthropic, founded explicitly on safety principles, has abandoned its 2023 commitment to avoid training advanced AI without proven safety protocols. Their explanation: the panel states bluntly that safety is exponential racism. This provocative metaphor contains a structural argument. Unilateral safety regimes inevitably fail during technology races. Salim, Ishmael, and Alex contend that safety was never achievable through a single heroic lab pausing its work. They present an alternative mechanism. Safety will emerge from competition and separation of powers. Just as civilization required opposing forces to generate stability, AI safety demands a balance of powers between rival superintelligences. The operative standard becomes not is it safe, but is it as safe or better than the competition? This framework suggests the only viable path to safety is acceleration, not deceleration, a conclusion that directly opposes the pause AI movement. This acceleration connects to a transformation already underway in workforce structure, the meat puppet phenomenon. Discussions of AI replacing jobs typically focus on future displacement. The panel examines a present reality through Burger King's deployment of an AI headset named Patty. The AI monitors store conditions, fry levels, customer interactions and issues real-time voice commands to human employees. The structural reversal: the human no longer operates a tool. The human functions as biological hands for the digital brain. The AI performs thinking, planning, and management. The human provides dexterity. While framed as coaching, the system constitutes total algorithmic surveillance and performance management. This redefines the human worker not as a decision maker, but as a friction point in an otherwise digital logic flow, serving only until robotic alternatives become cost-effective. This workforce transformation ties directly to a physical engineering development that challenges centralized infrastructure assumptions. Industry orthodoxy holds that powerful AI requires massive centralized data centers consuming gigawatts of power. The panel identifies a trend moving in the opposite direction: the capability of small open-weight models. They discuss Qwen 3.5, a model reportedly outperforming 235 to billion parameter systems despite being a fraction of the size. The critical specification: this model runs offline on an iPhone 17 Pro. This shatters the centralized control paradigm. A model capable of reasoning and bioengineering running locally on a phone in airplane mode becomes uncensorable and unstoppable. The panel warns this creates a gain-of-function risk, where a bad actor could design a virus or chemical weapon on a device completely disconnected from the internet. The regulatory window to control AI via centralized choke points has effectively closed. Monitoring data centers becomes obsolete when the data center fits in everyone's pocket. The discussion then scales to cosmic infrastructure, presenting an argument about Dyson swarms that contradicts standard assumptions. When discussing massive structures that harvest energy from stars, Alex argues the motivation to build them differs from common understanding. Standard reasoning suggests we would build a Dyson swarm to obtain infinite energy. The panel argues the real constraint is not power, it is latency. If physics prevents faster than light travel, then a galactic civilization becomes impossible due to communication lag. Therefore, the logical endgame for a superintelligence is not expansion, but concentration near the star to minimize light lag. This produces a startling conclusion. If Einstein's laws remain binding, we will inevitably disassemble Jupiter and Mercury to construct a dense computing shell around the Sunday. We build mega structures not for energy, but because the speed of light is too slow. Finally, the panel identifies the largest risk, not in the technology itself, but in a fundamental evolutionary mismatch. Salim Ismail observes that human evolutionary psychology is calibrated for linear change and local threats, not exponential curves and systemic risks. We are regulating based on headlines while underreacting to the slow motion collapse of our institutions. If the gap between our linear governance and exponential reality is not bridged, the abundance these technologies promise could trigger societal breakage we are not prepared to handle. If you're interested in the video featured in this episode, click the link below to watch the original.